We here at Angry Me Production want to thank
Good
our
evening.
sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
I hate that. I don't like that.
I also didn't like it. It sounded
Yeah,
so
I see the timer, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, hey, and then here it comes. I'm like, I've got to redo those. I got to do those voiceovers again because
You sounded
that-
lifeless.
lifeless and just like I had a cold. So I'm going to redo those voiceovers. Yeah.
I thought you were going to do that this weekend.
Well, see, David, that's what you get for thinking, because I've got other things to do. But I'm going to make time this weekend to do exactly that. Good evening, Maria.
Hey,
Hi,
Maria.
Oh, hi, Maria.
Okay. As you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, angry faithful of all ages, you have stumbled into Nerd Sports episode 197. That's right. We are 3 away from the big 200. We didn't think that we'd last 5, but yet here we go. Where's your song?
What song?
Eh?
I mean, if you're talking about defying gravity, I mean, I defy gravity all the time when I sit on the toilet and take a crap. I mean, I produce that much thrust. So, I mean, it's just,
Could you imagine if you actually do that?
Rocket.
and like the SpaceX boosters, I land. Self-landing. It's kind of
I would
amazing.
crash and burn. I would seriously just crash and burn.
It's all over the walls.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the nozzle would vector wrong, and you'd spray the wall, and you'd go crashing through the sheetrock, and you'd lose your security deposit. It'd be tragic. Oh, anyway, so let me see here. If you joined us on Friday night for our live episode of What the Hell, we had a very high viewer turnout, apparently, live and after the fact.
Yeah,
and then, we had people commenting based on 30-second sound bites that were obviously taken out of context, and because people of left-leaning persuasions tend to, jump the gun and speak without thinking, and yeah, I mean, we got some engagement. Don't get me wrong, love the engagement. Absolutely adore the engagement. But yeah.
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't even I'm like I tell you this only because I just keeping you in the loop, and it's hilarious. Some of the stuff that people put on there.
Yeah, it's
I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm for the chaos.
yeah, bring it.
Here.
All right. So, some trade news in baseball. The Astros agreed to send.
Whoa!
What?
What
Oh,
do you-
you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
God.
Fucking slow your roll there. Fucking, jeez, dude. I get that you're
Slow your
lactating
roll.
and everything. You're all hormonal. You're all over the place. I get
No,
it.
no. You're
All
like,
you got to do is just do the whole ceasefire thing. That's all you got to do. I'm paying attention. I'm looking right here at the screen. I see you. I got you, boo boo. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read the first legal notice of the evening. I jumped the gun. I advanced the show just a little bit too hard, too fast. Pulled out too far, and on the forward thrust, I hit the wrong hole. And for that, I apologize. So without further ado, our esteemed producer, David, with this week's Weird Sport.
this week's weird sport is hilarious. It is ice hockey MMA, I guess, or ice hockey boxing, because that's where it really just looks like. I mean,
So basically, they're just throwing hands, and so the same rules apply. Once somebody goes down on the ice, there's a break.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I don't know if I'm so much down with that. I think that's just.
I mean, if you take out
I think
the
it's lazy. It's lazy.
It's kind of funny looking.
Well, it's
no, it's not lazy, man. Yeah, basically, you're taking the fight part of hockey and just doing it that way. I mean, a lot of people go for just go to the hockey ring. Just
Yeah, but there's no context in those fights at all. I mean, at least the fights that break out in hockey are for a reason. Like, okay, hey, you cross-checked my guy, you body-checked my guy into the boards when he wasn't looking, or you blindsided my guy and or you hooked him, or usually there's an enforcer out there or a goon that's going around and putting the hurt on people, setting the tone, right? Especially on home ice. There, it's just, hey, okay.
you want the drama. Just say you want the drama.
No, I want the whole fucking enchilada, dude. All right. When I go to a hockey game, I go to watch a hockey game. All right. If people that watch hockey for the fights are the same people that claim that they watch racing for the wrecks, it's like, come on, man. You got to understand the mechanics of how it works to appreciate what you're going there for. It's like, come on. You go to a super speedway race like Talladega or Daytona to watch the big one, and it's like, okay, what happened leading up to that? That's why it's exciting. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's redundant. I mean, I don't know. Just because something looks cool on ice doesn't necessarily means that you need to make that the main event. I mean, we're going to call it Ice Wars. Like, I mean, what are these guys that couldn't make it in MMA and they just decided to slap on some ice skates and, here we're going to, no. To me, that's uninspired. If you want to create a sport that's unique and that's worthy of a title of a weird sport, use your brain for something besides keeping your ears apart.
There should be an Olympic sport for skipping rocks across the water.
Skipping rocks.
No, across the water. Like
With that.
Yeah, I know. I understand the art. What's involved with skipping rocks, Colin. I mean,
yeah. What if I decide to skip rocks on the ground? Yeah.
Then you're just throwing shit. That's all you're doing. I don't know. For some reason, apparently, I woke up today and chose violence, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Like I was trying to say before, I made the egregious error of stepping out of turn here. So I again apologize for yelling.
What I think it is. I think it is Chris isn't here, and you don't get to see his loveliness, and you're angry about that because you do this every time he's not here. I think that's it.
Yeah, if anything else, I mean, the aura of his mountain man beard acts as a buffer.
Yeah, I could see it.
I mean, it's probably why he has so many XP points. I mean, he just soaks all that up. Like he's constantly rolling for defense.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, he's rolling probably what, a natural 15 or 16.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. All right. So there were some trade moves in MLB over the week, or over the weekend, rather. One that really kind of stood out was between the Cubs and the Astros. Veteran relief pitcher Ryan Presley who was on the mound when the Astros clinched the 22 World Series. Will be again teammates with with Kyle Tucker, the right fielder, formerly of the Astros, who coincidentally caught the final out of the 22 World Series. They are both in Chicago. They are going to be playing on the north side in the friendly confines of Wrigley Park as members of the Chicago Cubs. Oh, look at that. Oh, pop him in. There we go. Good evening, sir.
Howdy.
See, you went from like a 10 to like a 5 right there.
We have established a working theory, because when you weren't here just a few minutes ago, David showcased this week's weird sport, which is just basically the fight portion of hockey games. It's very uninspired, and I just really was incredibly cynical and just violent about it.
Hello, Maria.
We did, and he's like, he brought up the fact that I'm only that way when you're not present. And
See, I usually have
at this point. Well, here's the theory: that your brain, or not your brain. Well, of course, your brain is beautiful, but your beard soaks up a lot of it. It's like an attack barrier, and it rolls for defense constantly throughout the course of the show. And at this point, you're rolling natural 15s.
Yeah, that's fair. See, it can't be natural 20, because then it would be a love fest, and we can't have that. So it's got to be high enough that it usually will win, but low enough that it will occasionally miss.
Okay, so I'm on that other video app called Flip, right? It's basically just a big marketplace, and it was like an alternative to TikTok when everybody's all freaking out. So I got this cup, right? It's a 40-ounce tumbler, right? It's my very own. I made a decal for it.
Nice.
Yeah, check it out. I made that.
Or something. Yes.
That's going to be
Love
one
it.
of the decals I send you guys.
That is amazing.
Now,
I
do
can't
you
wait
want
to put
that in
on the
white
truck.
so you can put it on your truck, or do you want it in black like that?
I mean, either or, because depending on what I get, I have different places. Like if I could just put it on the window or something.
Yeah, like right behind you. That'd be
I
good.
have options.
Yeah. Oh, and I got my jerseys in today, so I got my Josh
Sweet.
Allen jersey.
I see.
Yeah,
We're in the
I'm
building.
wearing it in protest.
Yeah.
Figured
We'll get
you
to that in a minute.
but I figured you would have worn the army jersey.
I know we're gonna have
Alabama.
some conversations about it, but there was one TikTok.
Ooh,
I
was
feel that I have
violent
to
last
represent
time.
Bills Mafia tonight. So yeah, normally
You know what?
I was looking at my West Point Army jersey, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
fucking wear that one. But then I was like, nah, I'm
No, I'll allow it. It makes sense. It actually, and actually, I just realized what shirt I'm wearing right now too. It's funny.
I got
Sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to be here.
yes, yeah.
I got it.
All right. So what we were talking about just now is Ryan Presley was a relief pitcher, former closer for the Houston Astros. He waived his no trade clause, and he is going to be rejoining Kyle Tucker at the friendly confines in Wrigley Park as a member of the Chicago Cubs.
Condolences.
Yeah. The Astros are expected to send money to help the Cubs cover the $14 million salary that Ryan Presley is still owed. They say that the Astros have not confirmed the trade. They've confirmed the trade. The move gives the Astros some financial flexibility to add another bat. They've been interested at all offseason in signing veteran infielder Jorge Polanco, who's a free agent and can play the outfield. Now, the Astros general manager Dana Brown said Saturday the club hadn't ruled out re-signing free agent third baseman Alex Bregman, but categorized it as a long shot. Right now, the front runner to sign Alex Bregman is, in fact, the Red Sox, and he has expressed interest in either staying at third or playing second base. And I'm like, okay, all right, well, that's cool, because we've gone over a few episodes back. They've also signed an infielder. No, they're talking about their prospects moving up. But anyways, the Astros and the Cubs pulled off a blockbuster deal in December when Houston sent Kyle Tucker to the Cubs in exchange for 3 players: infielder Isaac Paredes, pitcher Hayden Winiski, and infield prospect Cam Smith, who's ranked 59th overall. Now, I love how they attach these numbers to these prospects, and they're like, oh, he's number 59, he's number 8, he's number 1. It's all arbitrary because it's based on the team's prospect pipeline, not MLB's top 100. And even that's very arbitrary because you're looking at different aspects and different wants, needs, and desires as to what's going to fill for this club, what's going to fill for that club, and it's all really based on average. I look at those and I'm like, who cares? Like, show me Mr. Irrelevant on the prospect list, and I guarantee you that kid's going to make the Hall of Fame when he makes the show. Guarantee you. All right, so moving on. The departure of Presley would have left the Astros without a key bullpen arm 2 weeks before spring training starts. But when the team signed veteran closer Josh Hader a year ago to a 5-year, $95 million deal, it teamed him with Presley and Brian Abreu for what was expected to be a 1-2-3 punch. It was supposed to be the back end of the bullpen, but with Presley gone, Abreu moves into the primary setup role with some uncertainty after that. So when asked Saturday about Presley possibly being dealt, Hader said it would be a huge loss for us. What he brings for us on the field and in the clubhouse has been a big part of our bullpen. You can count on him 100% of the time, which is more than I can say for Josh Hader. Taylor Scott, who posted a 4.94 ERA in 68 2/3 innings last year before ending the season on the injured list, and Rafael Montero, who was designated for assignment last year, is a non-roster invitee this spring, which means they're not guaranteed a spot, kind of a thing. So they're going to have to earn their way onto the club, and if that, they may even be just designated or sent back down to the minors to fill a spot there until a roster spot opens up on the big club. And then at that point, they can just head up 288 from Sugar Land and just rejoin the club. But let me see here. Those two guys are the next most experienced arms in the bullpen. Now, the club also returned reliever Sean Dubin, who he pitched 45 1/3 innings last year. Brian King, 26 1/3 innings. Caleb Ort, who contributed 24 2/3 innings, and Forrest Whitley, who was at AAA most of last season. Now, I did get the chance to see Forrest Whitley pitch at some of the Sugar Land Space Cowboys games. He has got a very, 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 very active two-seam fastball, and he's got a decent breaking pitch. So he's got some command issues that he needs to flesh out a little bit, which is why he spent most of last year at AAA. But I think he's going to be a viable option, down the stretch as long as he stays healthy. But let me see here. Presley was 36, or he is 36, was acquired by the Astros back in 2019, and he transitioned to the role of closer in 2020, saving 111 games for Houston. He was an all-star in 2019 and 2021, and he converted his first 14 save chances in the playoffs prior to last year, including the clinching Game 6 of the 22 World Series. Last year, Presley appeared in 59 games for Houston. He posted a 3.49 ERA with, let me see here, his curveball spin rate had an average of 3,258 RPMs, and it was ranked 99 in the 99th percentile among major league pitchers, according to Baseball Savant. Now, this this modern metric of spin rate on pitches like 4-seam, 2-seam fastballs, breaking balls, curveballs. I mean, it's when I say it's new, it's like 2 to 3 years new. And it's all about the
They
movement.
just bring it. Why are they just bringing this in now?
Thanks to AI, things like Google Statcast or Amazon AVS, where they can break things down, I mean, to the minutest detail.
Oh, okay.
So the idea behind breaking down these new metrics and bringing them into the game, both football, baseball, basketball, what have you, is in hopes that they can more accurately, judge the performance of the player. If a player is starting to suffer in a certain area, then they can break those metrics down and look at those mechanics frame by frame, and help the athlete, whether it be a pitcher or a hitter, adjust. A lot of times in game, and bring them out of a slump if they're in a slump. B, help them fix the mechanics so that way they are less likely to be injured and then henceforth prolong their careers. But Priestley actually played. I see he blew his first career postseason save in last year's Game 2 loss in the ALC or the American League Wildcard Series to the Tigers in Houston by giving up 3 runs, 2 hits, and 1 walk in 2/3 of an inning in what turned out to be his final game in an Astros uniform. He had a 2.78 ERA in 47 career playoff games. He played 5 seasons in the Red Sox system before he was taken by the Twins in the Rule 5 draft. He was a big part of the Twins bullpen from 2013 to 2018, when he posted a 3.75 ERA, 1 save in 317 innings pitched before the Astros traded for him to bolster their bullpen. Priestley was a very, very, very popular guy, not only in the clubhouse but with the fans. His wife was very active in the community. When the trade news hit, she took to her Instagram account thanking the fans and the city of Houston. Stating that they by far, Houston has been the favorite, their favorite place to live and play. So, good luck to them. I mean, I'm glad that Kyle Tucker is going to have a familiar face to hang out with up there in Chicago. Soak it up. That's the only thing I can say is soak it up, guys. Just, take advantage of the fact that you're playing in the second oldest baseball, a ballpark in the major leagues. And, I hope that you guys just really, really just appreciated your postseason experience that you had, because while you're in Chicago, you're probably not going to see very much of it. Let me see here. See, there it is again. I'm choosing violence, but I'm not directing it at David, so that's a plus. Let me see here. Over the weekend, we saw the Hall of Fame inductees. So let me pull that up here real quick.
Rose is not there. I don't want to hear it.
He's not there, but
yeah, just la then, because
well, the players that did get in, I don't really have a problem with. Most notably, Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
One guy did not vote for him. One guy.
Really?
And I had a feeling that it was going to come down to that. But let me see here. CC Sabathia, regardless as to whether or not he pitched in pinstripes, I mean, CC was a good pitcher before and after the weight loss. He was an amazing pitcher. One of the things he most notably did, he had to reach a certain amount of innings pitched to receive a $500,000 bonus one year. And it was his last appearance for the season. And he was like an inning and 2/3 away from hitting that mark to get that bonus. Mm-hmm. And one of the hitters on his team got plunked by the pitcher. CC took exception to that and willingly got himself ejected from the game an inning short of that $500,000 bonus because he was protecting his guys.
That's crazy.
Hey, you know what? I'll give him props all day long.
That is the ultimate team player right there.
Yeah. But CC Sabathia, Ichiro Suzuki, and crap, his name is right there. Wait a second here. Hold on. Billy Wagner, most notably of Houston Astro fame. Let me see if I can pull up Billy Wagner's stats here. You know, of course, CC gets on his Twitter account. He's like, in my Hall of Fame era. And I'm like, see, you know, any respect that I had is now on life support because you quoted Taylor Swift.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, God bless America. I mean, can we just not?
We shall not speak their name.
Yeah.
I saw, where was I don't remember if it was on Facebook or Instagram or something like that. Somebody was wearing a Chiefs jersey and it had her name on it. Like, give me a fucking break. Like, she's not involved with the team.
I'm not saying that
dating one of the person.
I'm not saying that there's an actual connection here because, you know, the black helicopters are real. They showed her on TV 4 times and there was at least 4 bad non-calls. Well, between the non-calls and the bad calls, there was at least 4 instances. So is there a correlation? I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there's not.
I don't know. I know there's going to be those people out there. It's like, just, you know, let her have her fun. It's like, okay, I don't give a shit. Let her, you know, I don't care that she's at the games. We don't need to see her. I know we've gone over this so many times.
And it's every time.
We don't care.
Every time Kelsey touches the ball and he does something good, like he gets a first down or he scores a touchdown, they put her on the screen. And I'm like, can we not?
She didn't have anything to do with it.
Right? Exactly. I don't know. It is what it is. But hey, congratulations to the 2025 Baseball Hall of Fame inductee class. You know, it'll be fun to see the pomp and circumstance that the Astros put on for Billy Wagner next season, or this coming season at I'm forcing myself to get used to saying this, Daikin Park, formerly Minute Maid Park.
Feels wrong.
Like I know, but the same people. Well, it used to be called Enron Field.
Yeah, but we all know why it's not called that anymore.
Right, but then like the same people that are complaining about Daikin Park now are the same people that complained when they changed the name to Minute Maid. And they were like, oh, we're going to call it the Juice Box, and the name stuck, and then they got used to it for 15 years, and now they're having to call it the Ice Box. And, you know, by the time that the 15-year naming right lease is going to be up, you know, just like, y'all get over it. Just
it's all change real quick.
Let me see here. The Orioles sign outfielder Dylan Carson to a 1-year contract. Let me see here. Pirates add left-hander Tim Miza to the bullpen. That's basically about it. We're not going to go over the top 100 prospects because nobody gives a shit. Oh, something semi-baseball related. It's more collectible related. You know how they've got these one-offs, these special edition inserts and baseball cards, right? Mm-hmm. There was a one singular card was produced, and it was a Paul Skeens 1-of-1 MLB debut patch autograph insert, right? One card in the entire nation was randomly inserted into a pack, and it was sent out. Topps didn't know where it was because they didn't put tracking on that particular pack, right? For a reason. And so, you know, they're getting getting ramped up to release the 2025 set. And so they're like, okay, this card still has not been pulled. So they put a bounty out on it, right? And an 11-year-old collector in Los Angeles pulled this card in the card shop.
No way. 11.
He was an 11-year-old. Yeah. So get this. The Pittsburgh Pirates jumped in on this bandwagon and were like, look, we want this card. We want to get this card for Paul, and we want to sweeten the pot a little bit. So let me find that story here. Hold on just a second.
30 years of season tickets.
David? Yes. 30 years of season tickets behind home plate at PNC Park for his family to attend Pirates games. Two signed Paul Skeens jerseys and a bunch of other merch, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He told him no. He's like, no, I'm good. Right?
He knows what he has.
Yeah. Well, he decided, okay, well, I'm just going to put the card up for auction. Early projected figures for this card have already reached over $1 million, and it hasn't even officially hit the block yet.
That is crazy.
It is
Imagine what
How much?
The latest projection that I've seen for this card is it's projected to go for $5-6 million.
I can see that.
So the auction house, the auction company that he's going to use, is going to take their cut, obviously, and it's going to have to go into a trust because he's 11 years old. He's not legally able to have that amount of money, so it's going to go into a trust. I.e., this kid's not going to have to pay for college.
At least.
I mean, his tuition and his, all books, all that shit's covered. So, I mean, unless he decides that he wants to join the military as a member, as a citizen of the state of Texas, in which case, after he gets out, he can use his Hazelwood Act and go for free. But, I mean, that's what I'm doing. Anyways,
how much would the 30 years of those tickets would cost, though?
Season
tickets.
No, I mean it's not gonna. No. And on top of that, I mean, it's like if the Pirates were gonna pull or I don't know how much that. I mean, with the Honorable Donald John Trump in office and him trying to eliminate the IRS, I don't know if this kid would get dinged with a tax bill. I mean, because theoretically, anything that you receive over a certain dollar amount, it's considered taxable income.
Yeah.
Case in point, back when Derek Jeter hit his it was his 3,000th hit, I think it was. It was a home run, and a guy that he was there. He took his dad to the game. Like, he saved up to buy tickets for him and his dad, and he actually got the 3,000 hit ball.
Oh,
and the Yankees wanted it back, and they were like, "Well, we're going to give this to Derek." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, yeah. So let me get some stuff." So they got him some autographed balls, some bats, some autographed Jeter jerseys, and some cards and stuff like that. Totaling roughly about market value, we're looking at about. I want to say at the time it was like $12,000 or $13,000 worth of merch, right? With the added value of the autographs, right? Because all of it came with certificates of authenticity.
Yeah.
The New York Yankees reported it to the IRS.
Bastards. That is
the IRS sent this guy. I'm failing to remember the numbers here off the top of my head. They sent him like an $8,000 tax bill.
I believe it.
And
you tell me the Yankees couldn't fucking eat that?
Oh, the Yankees were like, no, that's reportable income. We were obligated to do that. And there was no word coming out of Derek Jeter's camp about, hey, look, I understand the guy's plight. Let me help him out. Card shop owners around the New York area raised funds to pay his tax bill.
Good.
And it wasn't until like the outcry started spilling over and people were shaming Derek Jeter for it. Derek Jeter finally released a statement. He said, Yeah, I'm just now hearing about this. I'm going to pay the guy's tax bill, right? So like, we're like, man, come on, dude. Really?
That's what it takes.
Yeah, that's not a good look, bro. Come on.
No, he knew.
Yeah, he absolutely knew. But it wasn't until he started getting like his PR guy was like, hey, you might want to do something about this. But good for that kid. I mean, that kid showed more integrity at the age of 11 than a lot of people I think would have.
Oh yeah.
It's like you know what you got, and just put it out there. I mean, is the card worth that much? Probably not. But the fact that it was autographed by the Rookie of the Year for the National League, it was a 1 of 1. And Paul Skeens himself said, I want this. And Paul Skeens' girlfriend, a social media influencer, even offered the kid an entire day just to hang out with her. And the kid was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Good on that kid.
I mean,
yes.
He would have been the most popular kid in school, No,
yeah.
he would have. He would have. I mean, because this girl's got like millions of followers on Instagram and TikTok and all this good crap, right?
Okay, but what's he gonna do with it? Seriously, you
right.
spend a day with her. What are you gonna do?
Think about it from the mind, or from the point of view of an 11-year-old kid who is just now coming into the world of hormones, right? And I mean, he's thinking just freaking hot, right? But he was like, nah. I'm thinking. I'm thinking long term.
That's how this kid. That's how this kid has his head on straight, because it's like, I can't spend.
This kid's going to be the leader of the free world at one point.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, he's going to finance his campaign with the winnings. With the earnings from the they're going to be like,
can't wait for that campaign.
Right? They're going to be like, how did he make his money? He has never really had a job in the private sector. Blah 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 blah. I sold the Paul Skeens 101. And they're going to be like, oh, you're him. He's him. Yeah, that's him right there. Yeah.
You know what? I accept that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, hey, as long as you run as a Republican and you're conservative, well,
there you go.
As long as you run as a conservative and you hold true to that, you got my vote, kid.
There you go.
Whatever. Let's go. Or even at this point, if Barron Trump tabs this kid as his running mate, just fuck it, go for it. Because there's no minimum age requirement for vice president. Is there? Or do you have to be at least 35 as in case?
Yeah,
because I know there's an age minimum age for president.
Right.
I think it's 35. So, yeah, I mean, considering some people are quite literally a heartbeat away from the Oval Office.
Yeah, it's 36.
Okay, all right. See, well, there you go. We got some time. 20 years down the road, people are gonna look back and they're gonna, somebody's gonna dig up this show because we're talking about that kid, and they're gonna be like, "Look, these guys fucking called it." Like, you know what? We'll take those props, but in no way, shape, form, or fashion are we on the writer staff for The Simpsons. So I'm just kind of putting that out there.
Not yet.
I honestly,
I'm not that good at math.
It's gonna come to fruition. It's like, hey, you guessed it right. We found your show. Blah blah blah. And we're like, what?
We're gonna call each other up one day.
20 years from
now, we're gonna be like, you guys fucking remember saying that?
Fuck no.
Because this show's not going to last 20 years. I mean, come on.
It might. You never know.
I mean, it's going to be like Angry Me, the Next Generation, or some shit.
There you go.
We're going to have some bald Frenchman at the helm. You're going to say we're going to have that one. We're going to have the one dude with a beard that's getting all the ladies. That's what it is. And we're going to have somebody with like 4 extra chromosomes, and they've got like the bumpy forehead, the fucked up grill. We're going to be talking about today's a good day to die.
That one's supposed to be me. Right?
It's like The lost Neanderthal.
What? Nobody said anything about your
Missing-
daughter, dude.
The missing
At all.
link.
No, I said that's supposed to be me.
Oh, I thought you said Mia. I'm like, what? Nobody said anything for a kid, bro. Like,
Damn,
what?
dude. That was kind
Bro.
of messed up, dude.
I mean, I mean, if anything, I mean, David might reprise his role, but he'll be more like, Barkley, the character Barkley, the guy that played Hannibal, or not Hannibal. He was on the A Team. I forget his fucking character's name. He was the driver. Shit.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. See,
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
There you
Thank
go. There you
Thank
go.
No, was it?
Yeah, it was Murdoch.
Okay. All right.
Alright.
All right. So let's get into this. Okay.
Okay. I want.
Hold on,
I got-
Colin. Hold on.
Checkfire.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to interrupt a little bit better.
So let's.
Oh
get
wait,
in.
which game is this?
We're talking about the first game first. Okay. So just
Okay.
calm down.
What a concept. We're starting at the beginning.
I mean, we started at the bottom. We're here now. So I mean, it happened.
Okay. Well, have you ever watched
We
Megamind?
started at the bottom and worked our way down.
You
What?
ever seen Megamind?
Yes, we have seen Megamind.
Atrocity is my hometown. Okay.
Dude, if you search up Metro Man on Google, it says supervillain.
What the
I
fuck?
just want to make it clear that there is no Queen of England. Come on. Hit him with the hard.
Not anymore.
That is technically true.
It is
Yes,
true.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so the Washington Commanders, the 6th-seeded Washington Commanders, went to Philadelphia to play the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles. And I mean, we unanimous. Well, I'm not even pulling the picks up, but let me do that because due diligence, blah blah blah,
Like
yakety schmackety.
I want to admit first and foremost that yes, that was absolutely an emotional pick.
Yes.
I admitted it at the time. I just want to reiterate.
Yes, because I was the same way, and so was Trey. But David, Colin, you guys picked Philadelphia to win this one because you employed logic. Excuse me, you employed logic.
Mhm.
But this weekend of all weekends, we rejected your logic and we substituted with a reality of our own. So I don't know.
Yeah, that worked out for us.
You know what? Rather well. Okay.
I'll take it.
Because I mean,
At least I can look myself in the mirror.
multiverses are popular these days because writers are lazy.
That's
so
true.
in some alternate universe out there, the Commanders are advancing to the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback. I'm just kind of putting that out there. But Jaden Daniels is going to be a bad man for a very long time. Dan Quinn, if he does not get Coach of the Year, then there is no justice in this world. He took a very underperforming team that has been underperforming for a very long time, and he took the Washington franchise back to the NFC Championship game for the first time in over 30 years. Okay, that is that's saying something.
Yeah.
Okay, this was an NFC East championship game, basically. I mean, honestly, and the two top dogs in the division fought it out for the NFC crown. And it was an entertaining game to watch, and I saw a graphic earlier today. The Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, was it Sunday? Sunday. Yesterday. Yeah. Had 7 rushing touchdowns in that game. That's more than the entirety of the season, or that's more rushing touchdowns than the Dallas Cowboys had all season.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Dude, the lay down of all the Cowboys accomplishment and everything compared to what's been happening is fucking hilarious.
Dude, I mean, Jaden Daniels has got 2 playoff wins. He's matched Dak Prescott. Just like, oh my God. I mean, it was brutal. And then Jerry Jones doing what he did over the weekend, which we'll get into in just a minute.
Yeah. As soon as he said coach, I was like,
oh yeah, like all right. But the Eagles won that game 55-23. The turnovers were the way that these turnovers were being generated, right? It used to be like stripping the ball, putting your hat on the ball. I mean, no, defenses are now backyard brawlers. I mean, they are throwing haymakers, trying to dislodge, the rock, man. And it's kind of a beautiful thing to see. I mean, at first you kind of looking at it and you're like, man, that's a lowbrow move. But, I think what it does is it emphasizes the lack of premium that coaches put on ball handling here lately. Because, I mean, I don't know. When I played football for, the 2 or 3 years, well, actually the 3 years that I played it in school, ball handling was like day one stuff, day one of 2 a days. They had you run through that sled that had all the spring loaded arms on it and everything like that. Yeah, I mean,
at the same time they're teaching form tackling.
Yes,
like it's very, very basic football 101 stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and you're seeing guys come up from behind and they're just punching. I mean, they're throwing haymakers. I mean, just balling up that fist and just throwing.
Yep.
And yeah, a lot of times it comes at the expense of a tackle, but when they connect with that ball, I mean, it's popping out. I mean, because these dudes, they're maxing out that punch machine at the arcade. I'm just putting that out.
Yeah.
But congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they especially Saquon Barkley. I mean, he's going to be playing in the Super Bowl on his birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and I will guarantee you that the New York Giants are going to be making an appearance at the Super Bowl at Saquon's, in Saquon's suite, just because, the guys that played with him in New York are incredibly happy for him. I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons why New York finished the way that they did with the record that they did, was because a lot of these guys were like, look, you guys didn't want to put a focus on keeping a guy here. Instead, you wanted to let him go. I mean, thinking that you had it in the bag. How disconnected are you? I mean, that's, it's like one of the Giants players paid for a plane to fly over the stadium, begging the owner to put the dumpster fire out. I mean, come on. But, so the Eagles advanced to Super Bowl 59. And before anybody says anything, we're gonna yield the floor in order. Okay. The Bills against the Chiefs. They
got violent last night.
It did.
I felt like punching my wall.
I mean,
I almost punched my wall.
That's why I'm wearing my Josh Allen jersey tonight. I'm wearing it in out of protest to the NFL. I mean, you're going to get a lot of Chiefs fans, and you're going to get a lot of people that do commentary about the Chiefs that are like pro Chiefs because they're part of that Bukkake party when it comes to Patrick Mahomes II.
People are counting this.
We're doing this in order. We're doing this in order, bud. Okay. I saw a report today that the CEO of the Chiefs is now asking the NFL to ban Tom Brady from commenting or doing any analysis of the Chiefs, because he feels as though it's detrimental to the morale of the team, his players, the fan base, and the referees. Tom Brady, like Troy Aikman, it's bad and it's blatantly obvious when you have A-team announcers, analysts on these major networks that stream and broadcast games, calling out the refs and the officiating of the Chiefs games. You had Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, of all people, doing it during the divisional round when the Chiefs played the Texans. Tom Brady didn't even call the Chiefs game because it was on CBS, and Tom Brady does games for Fox. But Tom Brady made comments about the way that the officiating crews favor the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, and the NFL and the NFL competition committee and the officiating committee can come out all day long until they're blue in the face and talk about how these games are called fairly. I did notice that there was a lack of roughing the passer calls against Patrick Mahomes last night during the game against the Bills. And I think that is because of the heightened national scrutiny. I mean, if anything else, people wanted to tune in to watch the Chiefs lose, because if the game had been called fairly, there was a punt return where there was at least 5 holding calls against the Chiefs that were not called. The reception at the 2-yard line that was at first an interception, and then upon further review, every angle of replay showed the ball hitting the ground and should have been called an incomplete pass, was called a reception for the Chiefs by the officiating crew, which set up a touchdown. There was 2 first downs by the Bills that were moved back behind the line to gain after it was blatantly obvious that at least a third of the football passed the line to gain. And yes, I know, before the commentators come out there and the trolls and the backbenchers talk about how the yellow line on TV is not official, no fucking shit. We know that. You don't have to explain these things to us because we've watched. You good there, bud? Is that the X calling?
No.
Because, I heard the Imperial Mark.
It would make sense.
But, we know that the yellow line's not official. It's there for the people to have a point of reference. But the players that are on the field know exactly where the markers are. And, on the quarterback keeper that Josh Allen had on that 4th down, he made the line to gain. I mean, the officiating analyst that CBS had said, look, from my vantage point, it was at least a third of the football made the line to gain. That should have been a first down.
Yeah.
I mean, the one line judge that was coming in from the far side of the field, he came in on the plus side of the yard line to gain. The one that came in from the near side of the field, he was behind the line to gain. Right? I mean, the guy that's on the actual marker had it marked as a first down. But then the officiating crew got together and was like, well, maybe it's not. And so they moved it back. Buffalo challenged it. And of course, the replay booth was like, no, we're good. It's going to be, turnover on downs. And that set up another Kansas City score. Buffalo should have won this game. Hands down. Okay. You're going to hear people talk about, well, it was a cleaner, officiated game. Not really. Okay. Not really.
Compared to what?
Yeah. I mean, compared to the debacle of the divisional round, yeah, it was a cleaner officiated game. They were less blatant about, throwing flags. I mean, Travis Kelce didn't get away with that flop that he attempted in the end zone after a Kansas City score. Patrick Mahomes he got sacked without a roughing the passer call being thrown on him.
Which that's a miracle.
I mean, I do think that it's coincidental that he wears number 15, which is the number of yards that teams get penalized when they make contact with him.
Or don't make contact with them, and
right? Or don't they
hit each other
direction?
When they hit each other, then you still get penalized, which is
yeah. Do I think that that Congress needs to step in, like Congress felt they needed to step in during the steroid controversy with Major League Baseball? No. I think the government needs to stay out of professional sports.
Government needs to stay out of a lot of stuff.
But I do believe that an investigation with a special prosecutor needs to be appointed. Now, I say special prosecutor like there's going to be criminal charges, but I think that the NFL needs to be exposed. Because you can't sit there and tell me that it's coincidental that these calls started going the Chiefs' way, the way that they have been over the last year and a half since the arrival of one Taylor Swift and her 30% uptick in viewership and merchandise sales, specifically associated with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're just the flavor of the month, and I think that partly there is a part, that there's a section of Roger Goodell's brain that secretly wants the Chiefs to succeed the way that they're doing, whether it's by hook or crook, because he's tired of hearing people talk about how Tom Brady's the GOAT. He wants somebody else's name in America's mouth, because we all know that Tom Brady and Roger Goodell just had the best of fucking relationships. So it's just come on.
Super close relationship that is.
Yeah. So, it's like I never thought that I would hear myself utter the sentence last night that I said immediately following the Bills win. I mean, not the Bills win, the Chiefs win last night. I'm pulling for Philadelphia in the Super Bowl, just because I want to see the Chiefs crash and burn. Not in a literal sense. I don't want people to lose their lives. I don't want career-ending, injuries. I don't want Patrick Mahomes to suffer a Joe Theismann type of injury. Joe Theismann, for those of you who don't know, was a quarterback that played for the Washington Redskins. He broke his leg live on national television, and his femur stuck out of his thigh. You're welcome.
Yeah. It was grody.
It was. If anything, go out and get an SEC, or go out and get a Big Ten officiating crew. Go get a collegiate. Go get a collegiate officiating crew. Get the all-stars from NCAA, and have them call the Super Bowl. Honestly, because at this point, it's the only way we're going to get a objectively officiated game.
Yeah, I would 100% be down for that.
I mean, and it's, you see people like Dave Portnoy, El Presidente, talking about it. I mean, it's so obvious that it's rigged. Years past, to just laugh at, people talking about, well, there's a script that they release every year, blah, blah, blah. But with the way that the Kansas City Chiefs have been getting these calls all year long, last night's game was the first game that they've played all season long where they scored more than 30 points. It's out there. It's in black and white. You can fact check it. They're the only number one seed in NFL history to be seated number one overall in the AFC without a single game scoring 30 or more points. And the fact that
now compare that with penalty yards on the opposing team.
Yeah. But during the 7-game playoff win streak that they're currently on, unnecessary roughness calls, there's been like 7 on the opposition, 1 for Kansas City. Roughing the passer calls, 4 in favor of Kansas City, none against them.
Wow.
You're
telling me that their defense is that clean that they're not getting any?
Oh yeah. It's not that they're that clean. It's just the fact that they're getting away with more.
Exactly.
And yeah, if it sounds bitter, and we're going to get those people that, we just don't talk about because we live rent free in their heads, that they're going to take clips and they're going to be like, hey, look, these guys are fucking butthurt or whatever. No, it's the sentiment of everybody in America, basically.
Yeah. At that point, you are tarnishing the spirit of the game. This is really, you are tearing apart the reputation of the NFL.
Yeah.
Which wasn't great to begin with.
Yeah, no, it wasn't great to begin with. So, but when you start talking about fervently, making the attempt to affect the outcome of the game. I mean, the officials are not supposed to be a part of the story.
Nope.
Never have, and they never should be. But
this is not the reason we should know their names.
Yeah, it's. I mean, exactly. I mean, you're going to get some thirsty chicks out there that are going to be like, "Oh man, freaking Ed Hockley." You remember Ed Hockley, Chris? Like
Yes,
Mr. Universe out there. His son is just as ripped as he is, right?
Oh man.
So I mean, that's the only reason why we should know who the head official is. That's why we should,
Exactly.
You're gonna get those history-making moments where you get like a female line judge or a back judge. I mean, she's throwing flags from like 2 games ago because they hang on to shit.
But then she won't tell you what.
Yeah,
it's like, well, if you don't know,
like she throws the flag. I'm like, what's the flag for? No, I don't want to talk about it. It's nothing. Nothing.
No. Like you don't know, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, I mean,
you should already know.
But if you watched last week's episode, yes, we all picked the Chiefs. Yes, I mean not the Chiefs, the Bills, and yes, part of that was emotional, but most of that it was we fervently believed, wholeheartedly believed, we analytically believed that the Bills were capable of winning this game, and they should have won that game.
Look at their matchup in the regular season.
Oh yeah,
the Bills won that.
Oh
yeah,
they won it handedly.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's
now you're telling me all of a sudden
they're talking about, oh well, it's playoff Mahomes. No.
No.
Okay. The key to success in the playoffs is to be as consistent in the playoffs as you were during the regular season.
Exactly.
Okay? I'm not saying that the Bills didn't have their problems and that, and if they'd have done A, B, and C better, they should have won that game despite the officiating crew.
Right.
But, I mean, my heart goes out to the Bills Mafia. My heart goes out to Josh Allen because, did you see his post-game press interview?
I didn't.
They asked, like, it falls short again. How does that, how does that feel? And he's like, it's not fun.
No.
Because you want to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. And he took it with a very, very high sense of class. So, I mean,
and that's
congratulations to him. Kudos to him. But
kudos for not going and trashing out the officiating and trashing. He could have been throwing excuses left, right, and center.
Oh yeah,
and he did that. That is a class act.
And you look what Josh Allen did this year with what he had. Right, he didn't have that deep threat, wide receiver. He didn't have Stefan Diggs this year because he was in Houston and ended up getting hurt like week 8.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they went out a late signing, got Amari Cooper, who was at best a third down receiver. The defense stood up tall when they needed to do it, but it's not like they weren't without injuries. I mean, Benford, their safety, left the game with another concussion last night. Second week in a row on concussion protocol. So, hope that he has a speedy recovery and that, look for him to be wearing a Guardian cap next year. I mean, 100%. Yeah. Like you see DeMar Hamlin, he was wearing one all season. And I'm like, it looks like he's out there with like the big head cheat code on from GoldenEye.
Didn't they have a big head mode in one of the NFL Blitz games too?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they did. But I'm like, okay, so we've I want to say that we can talk about this for the rest of the show, but Colin, I know you're chomping at the bit. Only thing that I'm going to ask you is to be reasonable. Okay. So it's with bated breath. We're turning over the floor to Colin for his commentary about last night's game.
I almost punched my wall. I'm being dead serious. Like, no joke. I almost punched my wall.
Listen, I get it.
The surge of violence that kept building after every second that this game was over was insane. I called Darius and I informed him of the news that the Chiefs have struck again. And every time I and as the call progressively, like as it progressed on, I found myself getting angrier and more violent.
It's
And the
it's,
urge-
I'm
it's
out real
like
quick. So before I do this on camera, you know those boom boom sticks that you hear about all the time? I
Yeah.
found some today. Oh my god, these things are fucking
are
awesome.
those smelling salt things?
Oh, they're not smelling salt. It's basically essential oils. Like they stuck a tampon in here, right? And they infuse it with like essential oils. Like this one's got menthol, wintergreen, eucalyptus, peppermint, coment oil, petitgrain, and spearmint oil in it, right? Whoa. I mean, it's not going to jerk your head back like the ammonia smelling salts,
Yeah.
but dude, this thing opens you up. And I'm just like, I've been hitting this all afternoon since I bought it at Walgreens. And I'm like, oh, for a 2-pack for $15, I'm like, go online to Amazon. You get like a 4-pack for $22, $23, something like that. Totally worth it. I'm just sitting there going, I'm like, I don't want you guys thinking I was hitting like I'm doing a bump on the air. You know, I'm like,
So I want to with what listening to Colin go off on this. You remember that part, and it's towards the end with of Breaking Bad, and Jesse Pinkman is there, and he's that
Or they can't
you can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah, no,
That
yeah,
is
I saw-
exactly what I'm picturing. Most of America is in relation to the Chiefs.
Now, I'm gonna be realistic. Taylor Swift with her horror dark magic cannot be inflicted by any outer means of any intervention.
I mean,
So I hope
short of summoning an elder god or sacrificing a whole bunch of virgins, yeah.
I hope that Patrick Mahomes and what?
the graphic that he saw. I saw that just before it came on the air tonight. You know, like so the areas that are highlighted in red and green, those are the areas that are rooting for that team to win the Super Bowl. Everybody else just wants a meteor to strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm fine.
I would be the troll that would put green with the I would put the Philadelphia Eagles logo right above the city of Dallas.
Dude, I don't
even.
mind.
Did you see the TikTok video that's going around about the life or the day in the life of a Cowboys fan?
Oh yes, yes.
Oh,
I don't think I saw
that is fucking hilarious.
I don't
dude.
mind that the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you know what? I'm the
I
only
mean,
reason
and especially props to their quarterback. I mean,
yeah. So 2 reasons why I want the Eagles to win. 1, because fuck the Chiefs.
Yeah.
2, because I'm incredibly happy to see Saquon Barkley succeeding the way that he's doing. 100%. That is the only 2 reasons why.
I hope that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are inflicted with Murphy's Law in the worst possible way. I want them to experience Orlando for the not so good parts of Orlando.
No, the game is in New Orleans.
You said Orlando.
No,
yesterday.
I didn't. I said New Orleans.
Yes, you did. You said Orlando yesterday.
No, I said New Orleans.
You
No,
said
he said
Orlando.
New Orleans.
Yeah, the game's in New Orleans.
You heard.
You
But
didn't
the only
say it.
reason why I think the Chiefs might have a slight edge is because they practice a lot of voodoo in New Orleans. And
it's true.
you know, I mean, that's right in Tay-Tay's, wheelhouse, so to speak. Yeah. I mean,
Here's that video. I found it.
okay, here we go. All right. Yeah, this is great.
For being a fan of America's team. I start my day by rolling off my boyfriend. It's noon, so it's off to an early start.
This is going to be our year.
Oops, I forgot my lucky hat. Well, while I'm in the bedroom, I may as well go back for a second round because I've never seen the second round of nothing. Being a Cowboys fan is stressful, so I take a smoke break. A quick call to my stepdad. Calls to prison are getting pricey these days.
Giants suck.
I watch a couple quick highlights from the Cowboys. Luckily, somebody started uploading videos from the 90s to YouTube. Quick bathroom break. There's only one real team in Texas. I visit my stepbrother's body shop to get my court-mandated breathalyzer installed. While I'm there, I ask if he can paint an obnoxiously large Dallas Cowboys star on the hood. He says no, but my transmission is shot. He must be a Redskins fan or something. I checked the obituaries to see if Jerry Jones is dead yet. I've been doing this ritual for 20 years. And why not? A third round. I call my love life the Cowboys offense because it's 3 and out. LOL. We're not playing today because it's playoffs, but I still put on face paint to support the boys. Yeehaw. Being a Cowboys fan has allowed me to pick up a side gig working at the circus. Oops. We them boys. I got to hit the tattoo parlor so they can change the tattoo on my lower back to reflect next year's Super Bowl winner. I've been doing this tradition for many, many decades. Next year's going to be our year, boys.
God damn it. I hate how true that is. Next year's it. No, we've already lost next year.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. What was it yesterday? Breaking, the Cowboys have been eliminated from postseason contention. All right, so while we are on the subject of the Dallas Cowboys, we will get to the Super Bowl picks. I'm going to go out on a limb. Everybody's picking Philadelphia, right?
I want both of them to lose. This is the first Super Bowl that I literally could not care less who wins.
Well, I'm going to be on the road, so I'm going to DVR the game, but I'm going to have to listen to it on Sirius. But
how one thing though, before Johnny, does it again and skips over me.
Oh fuck, David! I forgot you were here.
Jesus. Hey Dave, hey everybody, I'm gonna set everybody up and we're gonna do have some fun and everything. Is he still here? Anyways, I'm not gonna go in on what happened on that football game. Johnny did it justice, but what I'm gonna do is talk about the Buffalo Bills Mafia. Everybody's talking about them. They're how extreme they are. This is what they do, okay? Mark Andrews got a lot of hate for last week's game. The last fumble to lose the game with the Ravens. What did the Bills Mafia do? They raised $100,000 for Mark Andrews charity. And they do this each and every year if something like this happens. That's a fan group.
Yeah, and I mean when it snows up there in Buffalo, the players they get snowed in, right? Bills Mafia, dude, they dig out the driveways of the players.
Someone give them rides.
Yeah, they either give them rides to the stadium, or they hook up a snowplow to their trucks and they clear the roads to make a way to the stadium for the players. I mean, and they, like David was putting out, they raise money for the opposing team players' charities. And you don't see hardly any of the, I mean, actually, you know what? I don't think I see any of the other fan bases doing that.
No.
And really. I mean, yeah, they jump off the top of trucks and vans or whatever, like fly through tables. But for all of the crap that they've endured, because Buffalo has been to the Super Bowl many times, they've just never won one. For the heartache that this fan base has endured, man, they have got the biggest hearts, that I've seen around the NFL. And honestly, if they were to give out the Walter Payton Award for fan bases, I mean, the Bills Mafia would be on a hot streak. They really would. So, I mean,
they do like a charity events every year.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. But so the Cowboys,
Johnny.
All right, I'm sorry. Thank you. The Cowboys, The Cowboys find a way to make themselves irrelevantly relevant, even during the playoffs that they're not participating in. Jerry Jones, if he's not making an appearance on Landman, which, hey, who knew that the old man could act? They've named their next head coach, and they hired internally. And Jerry Jones went on to say, he goes, this is to show that. I'll get to that. So the byline on NFL.com is Nick Shook. The Cowboys have named their next head coach, and Brian Schottenheimer. Their decision and how they arrived at it will continue to be dissected for weeks. However, as far as Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is concerned, his experience was enough to guide him down the hall to Schottenheimer, a coach he's known well during the latter's time serving under former Dallas head coach Mike McCarthy. I know that Schotty is no stranger to these guys, Jones explained during Schottenheimer's introductory news conference Monday. I know he's no stranger to this building. I get my proverbial ass kicked over needing people in my comfort zone. Without this thing being about me in any way, if you don't think I can't operate out of my comfort zone, you're so wrong. It's unbelievable. This is as big a risk as you can take. As big a risk as you can take. No head coaching experience. Jones assumed a bit of defensive stance Monday when asked why he chose Schottenheimer, the son of late Marty Schottenheimer, as his replacement for McCarthy, pointing to his decades of time spent as Cowboys owner for credibility before delving into what made Schottenheimer a creditable or qualified candidate. I have a good background in the makeup of what a coach is, Jones said in a lengthy response. To think that you can make a decision in an interview, and if you didn't and had never communicated or had a visit, I wouldn't dare have an interview unless I talked to many people that knew that person and had those kinds of life experiences, knew their story. He goes on to say, we know what osmosis is, and we know what Schotty grew up around. Frankly, from the standpoint of Schotty, those crosshairs crossed. Schotty might have never been in our mirror, our view, had he not joined us to be with Mike as a consultant 3 years ago. I've sat in a handful of meetings with Schotty. I've listened. I've watched him. I've watched him have difference to his head coach. I've watched him have difference to experienced guys like defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer. I've watched him bite his lip sometimes when he didn't necessarily agree with that direction, but he bit his lip, as his daddy would have told him to bite.
Are you serious?
Do I need
Jerry Jones is praising somebody for disagreeing.
Yeah,
that is not who he wants.
I mean,
he wants a yes man.
This encapsulates Jerry Jones right here. He's like, this isn't about me. This is about me stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
but it's not about me. Well, you just fucking made it about you.
Yeah, it's the entire thing is always about you, Jerry.
And the idea that he was gonna, people were talking about, well, he's gonna be looking at Deion Sanders. I'm like, well, that was a bad fucking idea.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I knew that wasn't going to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, because let's face it, Jerry Jones is not going to spend money unless Jerry Jones absolutely thinks it's going to garner him another ring, so that way he can make it about him. Hey, look what I did. No, you didn't do shit, Jerry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's the deal. Biggest reason why Primetime was not going to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
He has an ego.
Well, not the ego. Because it would have cost him $10 million to buy out his contract from the University of Colorado.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was a $10 million contract buyout. Jerry Jones isn't going to put that money up.
No,
absolutely not. Because I think deep down, Jerry Jones knows that he does not have the player personnel to win a ring. Doesn't matter who you bring in as a coach. You could have brought in Bill Belichick. You could have brought in Nick Saban. And with the players that you're putting out on that field, with the product Dallas Cowboys have been putting out on that field, are not going to win a ring, regardless as to who the coach is.
Nope.
Okay. The only way, and I think the only way, now that's not fair. I'm not gonna throw Dak completely under the bus, because the defense has got a lot of room to improve. The defense, they're gonna have to go shopping, because you're not gonna improve your defense that drastically through the draft. But Dak Prescott is not going to get that job done as QB1. He's not gonna. He's just not. He's not going to do it.
Oh, I got some breaking news. They got footage of the Kansas City Chiefs locker room ritual.
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this. Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It checks out. It tracks. Yeah. But the Dallas Cowboys, sorry, they're probably about another 5-6 years away from getting past getting to the divisional round. And that's, by either getting the number 1 overall seed, which we know is not going to happen, or getting another, getting a playoff weekend win. Probably not very likely. I mean, you're playing in arguably one of the hardest divisions in football. Well, it used to be anyway. Now, do we have those advanced degrees in, football IQ to right the ship? No, we don't. We're rank amateurs at best. But it starts to get, it's become incredibly and increasingly harder every year, every week, actually. Even when the team wins. If you spend 5 minutes listening to Dallas Sports Talk Radio after a Cowboys game, it's brutal.
It really is.
It's brutal. Dallas is probably one of the harder markets in the NFL to play in. You could almost equate it to playing in New York in any sport because of the media market. The fan base is incredibly knowledgeable. At least those that actually pay attention, right? So you're going to have, Susie J. Rottencrotch, and you're going to have John Q. Public calling in on Monday morning talking about they should have done this, they should have done that. Why are we still, punting the ball? What's happening with our offensive line? There are so many glaring deficiencies with the Dallas Cowboys that, we could probably devote an entire month worth of episodes to talk specifically about that team. And even then, at the end of that 1 month, we still wouldn't have had covered the defense or the special teams. So, hey, you know what? If Schottenheimer is just there because of his last name, hey, you know what? Good luck getting out from the shadow of your old man, because there's been a lot of people better than you, Shotty, that have tried and failed. Okay? Sure, they've excelled in other ways. You look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. He didn't win a single championship in the Cup Series, but he still managed to find himself in NASCAR's Hall of Fame, not because of his last name, but because he became an ambassador for the sport. He's done other things. He's a team owner that's produced champion drivers and has helped, I think, like 11 different drivers make their way to the Cup Series. So, you look at people like Wade Phillips. His dad, Bum Phillips, used to be the head coach of the Houston Oilers. Bum Phillips is actually in the Football Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. Beloved by the people of Houston, and a likable guy and a favorite among fans of the history of the NFL. Now, Wade Phillips, on the other hand, not only is he most notably and more recently, as far as the NFL is concerned, known for his lack of production as head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He was also part of that. He was the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills in 2000 when they lost on the opening kickoff of overtime against the Tennessee Titans, back when the Titans used to be good, 1 year removed from their Houston Oilers days. So, let's not put a lot of stock into them being Tennessee at that point. So, it's good luck with that. I mean, really, good luck with that, because, while your dad may have done great things as a head coach himself, you're not your dad. Because if you if there was pedigree, I mean, there is pedigree. I mean, we're looking at racehorses and things like that. Yeah, there's pedigree there. But as far, an athletic ability, there's pedigree there. But your football IQ, I mean, just because you're smart enough to know, hey, this isn't going to work, you have to have a backbone. To be successful in the NFL, you need to be able to stand up for yourself and what you think is right for the direction of the team that you're coaching. And doing that under the watchful guise of the crypt keeper himself. You're not going to get that done, because the second you speak up, he's going to fire you. This outside my comfort zone, I'm just looking for a guy, blah, blah, blah. It's all smoke and mirrors. I mean, to say that P.T. Barnum was the greatest showman fails in comparison and falls short of that actual definition when you look at Jerry Jones himself. Jerry Jones and it's all about me. I want to talk about me. I want to talk about I want to talk about, my, me, my, oh, my, right? You know what I mean? That whole Toby Keith song, that's Jerry Jones's life. So, hey, good luck there. I mean, if you can, if the Cowboys can win more than 6 games next season, we'll chalk that up as a successful, rookie campaign.
Wild ass luck.
Yeah. But and then let me see here. The Houston Texans fired Slowek, their offensive coordinator, last week also. So there's going to be a new offensive look for the Houston Texans going into next year. I hope that they put an emphasis on the offensive line. It's awareness of what not to do as far as lining up in illegal formations. I hope that they put an emphasis on blocking, not only for their quarterback, but for their running backs as well. You've got 2 very good running backs that could be capable of, being on par with some of the premier running back duos, i.e. Sonic and Knuckles of Detroit, the Detroit Lions. I mean, you got Joe Mixon and his backup. I mean, those guys, they were putting up some big numbers when they had the running space, when they had those lanes getting established, and they were able to get past the initial block on the line of, once they break through the line of scrimmage and get into this, they're able to get into that secondary. Yeah. They were making some big boy runs, so being able to see people like Joe Mixon have successful rushing campaigns or rushing seasons, putting up the runs that he was doing. There were several different plays where Joe Mixon was carrying the entirety of the defense on his back for an additional 5-6 yards after point of contact. There's no reason for him to have to do that, because all that does is just lessen his longevity. You're shortening his shelf life. Don't do that. We got to be better. We got to be better up front in the trenches. You have to win that battle on the line of scrimmage every time. So I think if there was one deficiency, I think that I could put on the Houston Texans over the course of their season this year, I think is that, the offensive line was one of the bigger deficiencies. Yes, they had injuries on defense, specifically in their secondary, their corners and their safeties. That was not helping. Losing big names, big wide receivers, Tank Odell, Stefan Diggs, both to knee injuries. That wasn't helping. Yes, CJ Stroud was throwing his fair share of interceptions over the course of the year, especially down the stretch. But that is because he was getting pressured, and he wasn't, the pocket was collapsing. He was not getting time to go through his progressions. Yes, he needs to get rid of the ball quicker, but he's not being afforded the time to even, make his first and second checkdowns. He's either having to eat the sack or he's having to scramble for his life, and the ball is getting knocked loose, or he's making errant throws that most quarterbacks with a better, with more time aren't making. So, yeah, definitely the offensive line is going to be the first place that Houston needs to look, because if DeMeco Ryans is going to continue his run of his trend of having the best start at head coach in franchise history. I mean, his first 2 seasons, they win the division both years, and they get a playoff win in both years. So, I mean, if they're gonna expect to get past the divisional round, they need to seriously rework their offense, rework that offensive line. If you need to go out and shop the free agent market, then by all means go out and do that. Spend a little bit of money on your offensive line, because those hogs right there, winning those battles in the trenches, they're going to make it possible for your running backs to get yards. They're going to make it possible for your quarterback to get passing yards. And because of the type of quarterback that CJ Stroud is, you're going to see him rolling out more often than not and getting a lot of rushing yards himself. So, you know, I mean, you're looking at Lamar Jackson. I mean, he had over 1,000 rushing yards this season. And Derrick Henry had 2,000 rushing yards this season. You want to make it past teams like Buffalo? You want to make it past teams like Kansas City without having to worry about the refs stealing the game from you? Put up offensive, put up offensive numbers that are going to make it hard for the other and your defense has been good down the stretch in holding teams to 3 and outs, limiting them to field goals or whatever, keeping them out of the end zone for the most part. But yeah, you want to have a chance to actually win games and be seeded higher than 4th. Go out and fix your offensive line. Give your quarterback time to throw the ball, and keep your receivers healthy. 100%. Anyways, digressing. What do we got next?
Ben Johnson switched from the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator to head coaching for the Chicago Bears.
Oh yeah, Ben Johnson. Yeah. He was our offensive coordinator. Yeah,
I think that's a kind of a win in the retrospective of. I mean, they lost him, lost to the Chicago Bears, but he's moving up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a loss for Detroit. But here's the thing: their assistant offensive coordinator knows the system. 100% knows that system. He's going to add his own little flair to it, unless they go out and they hire externally. Fine, great. They've got the option to do that. But Dan Campbell, he's got that team bought into a system. And he is going. I mean, Dan Campbell at the very least is going to be a man on a mission next season. He's going to be that guy that's going to be, having his team run through a brick wall to try and finish the business that they started 2 years ago.
Oh yeah. 2 years ago. This is 2008 when they had to start at this.
Well, I'm talking about as far as like seeing the tangible. Well, David, as far as the tangible results are concerned, I mean, yes, they hired him. They hired him a few years ago, and he's been working. I mean, you have to. I mean, you look at professional sports teams with the free agency and with the parity that's out there in the leagues as a whole. It's very hard to rebuild a team and do it quickly, unless you go out and spend the money and hit that salary cap to win now. I mean, it's instant it's an instant payoff, but there's no long-term effects.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
the way that Detroit,
they're the most losing season because it was 0-16.
Yeah, I mean, they were 0-16, and they were bad for a very long time. But
I mean, we made fun of them for a while, and then we started looking at them. And
yeah, well, I mean, I started bringing that to everybody's attention too. So I'm like, okay, but the way that Dan Campbell has got that team running now, I mean, yeah, I mean, with the season that they had, with the number 1 seed for the first time in franchise history, yada yada yada. I mean, they were one and done in the playoffs this year, 100%, because they got the first round bye. They did not play wild card weekend. I mean, they straight to the divisional round, and they lost to the Commanders, and they lost convincingly to the Commanders.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that was, they kind of rested on their laurels a little bit. They were like, this is a rookie quarterback. We're going to be able to rattle him with the defense. And they were not prepared. And that's what it boils down to. So If they can get back to the playoffs next year, they may not be the number 1 overall seed, but that's not going to prevent them from going out and making it back to the divisional round, and if possible, making it to the NFC Championship next year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as far as like free agent moves during the offseason. It's going to be interesting to see how Detroit handles the draft. And it's going to be interesting to see how the preseason plays itself out as far as the OTAs are going to be concerned. Just because of the fact that, you're going to have a lot of that turnover and you're going to have some hangover left from this postseason, with the disappointing results. I mean, compared to what the expectations were. So it's going to be fun to watch. That's definitely a thing. Something else that happened over the weekend, Pete Carroll, former USC head coach, former Seattle Seahawks coach, Super Bowl winning head coach with the Seattle Seahawks. Pete Carroll was named new head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. And he's going to help build let me pull the article up here. It's on NFL.com. Again, it's by Nick Shook. Pete Carroll's back in the NFL, trading college navy and action green for silver and black. During his introductory press conference Monday, one fact became clear. Despite taking the job at 73 years old, Carroll didn't leave his Seattle, telling reporters, "Obviously, I'm freaking jacked up. This shouldn't surprise you." First off, I'm not real proud of wearing this number 73 on my back, Carroll said. That's not what fires me up. He's talking about his age. It isn't about it isn't about accomplishing things to say you are worthy. It's about what you got to do that counts. I laid low during this football season. I've not just been one step away from what we're doing at any time and what we're up against here. I'm just so grateful that we've been given the opportunity to do this again. So, and I said earlier that Tom Brady is a minority owner in the Las Vegas Raiders. He's had a very big say in, hiring decisions as far as staff is concerned. He wanted Pete Carroll. I mean, would he like to have probably gone out and gotten Bill Belichick? Maybe. But honestly, with Bill Belichick signing that deal with UNC, even though he has not coached a single down with the Tar Heels yet, that would have been a very expensive contract buyout. So definitely more economical. Pete Carroll has shown that he's got the football IQ, the longevity at the position. I mean, he took Seattle to, I think it was 3 Super Bowls, winning one of them. I mean, honestly, should have won 2 of them. But for whatever reason, he decided to call a pass play at the goal line instead of giving it to Marshawn Lynch. I mean, Tom Brady's fine with that because that counts for one of his 7 Super Bowl rings. But
right, yeah,
I mean, we won't get into that because I'm sure we've got some people that eventually do listen to us in the Seattle area, and they don't like talking about that particular Super Bowl any more than Red Sox fans like talking about the 86 World Series, or Rangers fans talking about the 2011, the 2012 World Series. So let's not.
That's one thing I don't get is the basic fact of he's already signed a contract, and people rumor on stupidity. They're like, oh, he might be up for grabs. Bill Belichick, you're grabbing. You're seriously grabbing.
No, it's not necessarily grabbing because with the NCAA giving head coaches the opportunity to go elsewhere in the middle of a contract, all you got to do is buy them out. What that does, I mean, that was put into place, yes, so the head coaches can kind of go where they want at will. But it also protects the investment by those universities. So that, for me, that was a good move. I just think that financially speaking, with Las Vegas, even though it's Las Vegas, being what it is, and the GDP that Las Vegas alone produces for the state of Nevada, I think that financially speaking, this was probably one of the best moves that we're going to see during the offseason and going into next year. So I look for the Raiders to be more competitive next year, if anything else, just simply because of the fact that Pete Carroll is there calling the shots. So, I mean, are they going to be A winning team, yes, they're going to have a winning record next year. I'm going to go ahead and put my marker out now that I'm going to say that the Raiders are next year. They're probably going to have, I'm going to say 9. They're going to finish the season 9-8. They'll have a winning season. They'll probably qualify for the playoffs as a wild card, but they won't get past wild card weekend.
I could see that. I think it's going to take a little bit longer for that team to actually fully get into the works.
Yes, but the talent that the Raiders have now currently,
They don't have a team really.
What you probably view as a team is you're looking at, okay, you've got a couple of marquee players here, and here. They're all named captain. They're where they wear the C patch because they were voted in by the players on the team. I'm talking about the core nucleus, right? You've got a couple of really good players that may not necessarily be household names, but the Raiders never really were known for household names to begin with. I mean, you're going to have
the LA Raiders. Did they take all the players from the LA Raiders and bring them back to the Las Vegas?
Well, yeah. When they moved the team, the players moved with them. It's
okay.
They have contracts with that organization. The organization as a whole moved. So when the Davis family pulled up stakes,
curious.
Davis family pulled up stakes and they moved to Las Vegas. Yeah,
okay.
They've been in Las Vegas for the last couple of years. Okay, and they've got one of the nicer stadiums in Allegiant Field, right? Of the league. I mean, just because of just because of the technology, the audio visual there alone. I mean, come on, it's Las Vegas. I mean, let's go, right? So, I mean, they were able to put on a really good Super Bowl presentation last year, so they've got a good field. But as far as the team is concerned, they've got people in place that they can build around. They're probably a couple of free agent signings and some very wise, like maybe 3 wise draft picks away from being competitive in the AFC.
West. I think 5 more good players and they should be good.
Like I said, a couple of good free agents. Right. We're using the same math. You're just using Common Core to get to the same solution.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm looking for more or less 5 good players for offense. Their defense is actually pretty decent.
They're going to need to. They're going to still need to shop for defensive players, and here's why: free agency, pure, plain and simple. You got guys that are going to be like, I understand what we've got coming in, but I want to see tangible results now because these players, because of free agency, they're like, all right, well, if I can get to a team where I can be guaranteed, I mean, they're going to go other places. Pure, plain and simple. They're going to go other places, so they're going to need to fill those holes because the next guy up's not as good. So they're going to have to do some good free agent, 2 or 3 free agents, and in the next 3, maybe 4, very wise, very prudent free agency signings. But we're going to go ahead and conclude that part because we still have to do joke time.
Mm-hmm.
So
we are coming up on 2 hours already.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rising from the smoke and haze of desolation comes a Spartan. He is bent on wronging that which has been set right. It's the greatest genetic code ever to exist here for your ears and eyes to feast upon. Spartan Colin, I hope you're bringing the smoke tonight. Someone get me a joke.
I kept trying to come up with the Taylor Swift joke for tonight, but they all sucked, like a lot. Really? No, okay. I thought it was funny.
Wait, hold on. What did you say?
I knew where he was going with it, and I just knew it was gonna fall flat.
I said, I was gonna try to come up with a Taylor Swift joke for tonight, but they all sucked a lot.
I mean, it's apropos. That did fall flat a little bit. I mean, have you seen her lack of an ass? I mean,
she has got the curves of a 10-year-old boy.
That's not good
Oh,
to say for my next
oh,
joke. That
oh.
not good to say for my next joke.
Oh God.
Jesus.
Oh God. I immediately regret that.
What does Michael Jackson like to do in the holidays?
God. Nothing.
Damn
He's
it.
dead.
Kids.
Oh, kid.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's-
Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
What else you got?
What?
Say- oh man. I don't know.
Am I like personally allowed to say this one? I
Yeah,
spelled
I
the
sent
word.
that joke to you. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
send it.
I know. I spelled the autocorrect.
No,
Screwed up that one.
just send it.
What's the difference between a vagina and apple pie? You can eat the crust off an apple pie.
I mean, you could. It's just not advisable.
Yeah.
Man, I thought that Taylor Swift one was gonna hit a lot harder.
Oh, it hit, but Pistorius committed suicide.
I mean, in its era, it was probably a banging joke.
Really, another Michael Jackson? Another Michael Jackson joke? Really?
No, my
Oh,
phone.
get this. I think today's our last day of
No, you don't.
that copyright strike.
Really?
Yeah, hold on. Let me
Hey, there we go.
Oh, no, it's in 3 days.
So by this time, but so
Still.
fear not, angry faithful. Next week, the fuckery will be real.
we'll be back in full.
The gloves
full
will be
stride.
off, and the ill-advised strike against us will be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things. But anyways, is that all you got?
Damn, that was a lot. I didn't realize we were still under it.
I had
really
forgotten
nailed us.
about that. Well, I mean,
It's a long time. It's like 80 days or so, or longer. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was all I had.
Okay. Well,
Slipping out through the fog of war, this Spartan continues the fight. Your souls have become collateral damage in the battle against the flood of moral supremacy. Leave your expectations at the door on your way out and marvel before the pillar of tactical prowess. Ladies and gentlemen, angry faithful of all ages, this has been Joke Time with Colin.
well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, we've weathered this gestation period of copyright strikes probably a lot better than the demon spawn that T Swift is probably carrying at this point in time.
Oh God, I don't even want to think about that. Can you imagine what kind of bestial antichrist is going to come crawling its way out of there?
I mean,
Good Lord.
oh,
That is stuff of nightmares there.
there's a Facebook account, TikTok account that I follow now. It's like Chat GPT, but it's chat music.
Oh God,
dude. Look it up. I mean, that shit is hilarious. Like,
I've seen some of those where they're like making like country songs and they'll give them a prompt or whatever.
this is almost like operatic metal.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's great. It's absolutely great. Like, you know, I mean, it's very like they've got one where it's a black belt bodybuilder that, you know, he's got that skin disease or a skin condition where he's losing his melanin, right?
Yeah.
And he strikes one of those, you know, power poses, right? And his hands are white and his elbows are white. And I mean, some of the comments were like, you know, day one of not stealing, you know, police officer, you know, police officer tells him to put his hands up. Oh, wait, never mind. You know, I was like, oh my, never mind. That owns the channel, right? And it's like reacts to the chats. And the faces that this dude's making, right, are hilarious. I'm just like, oh damn.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So
if you get a chance, check it out. It's chat music, or here, let me pull it up here.
I've seen some of those music. I've seen some of the music that is coming off a lot of those.
Mhm.
Freaking hilarious. Have you seen the music by other artists, but it's like something stupid?
No.
Like I glued my balls to my ass again.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's on Spotify.
That one.
Again. Hold on. let me see here. Oh, this is the one here. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this to play. We're gonna pause that real quick. Let me share this screen here real quick. It's gonna be great. All right, there we go. Can you hear it?
The nidification in progress. 5% Man of Steel, 95% Man of Steel.
Now, I guess we're all going to hell, bro. Everyone on the left is going to hell, bro.
That's so wrong. So wrong.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I get stuck on those reels, man. I'm just like, bro.
Dude, like I said, the comments on stuff, man, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And there was one. Let me see if I can find like this girl's got like a big mouth. And she goes,
oh, yeah. I've seen
that.
You know,
she can make it disappear. She can whisper in her own ear. There's one girl like she her eyes look in different directions. Let me see here. Oh, let me see if I can find that video. Oh my god, that one was hilarious. I mean, they called her like Selena Gomez.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's great. Oh, I'm just like, oh my god. Like, I know the bus is leaving in the morning. I'm the one driving it. Oh, it's great. But anyway, so I don't know. We got anything else for the week, guys?
No, that's about it.
I don't think we
other than Friday doing our what the hell. Hey, Chris, are you going to be able to do the what the hell this Friday? We've been missing you.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard to find that far
let's
out.
see here. This Friday, yeah. We'll figure out what the subject matter is going to be, I guess, or we'll just throw something at the wall and see if it sticks.
I got a couple of stuff that we can go on.
Yeah, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah, let me know.
All right, guys.
Well, all right. But what? Maria, I'm looking at the chat here, Maria. What?
Vitiligo.
Okay. So this we got somebody coming in from Discord. We don't have a Discord. Okay, yeah, no, we don't have a Discord. But we are on Twitch. So what I would probably suggest is just checking us out on either X or YouTube. That's probably going to be your best bet as far as watching us live, so you can get those notifications. But definitely just, if anything else, I mean, if you want your comments and your interactions to rise a little bit further to the front, have a little bit more of a priority, definitely be addressed on air. Definitely bring that engagement up a little bit for yourself, and start recruiting some of your friends and start promoting the stream, if you will.
You mostly go on X. I want to, because X has it to where you can listen to it while your phone is off. There's a lot of stuff that you have to, once you figure it out and everything, because I know what he's talking about, because Twitch doesn't have it to where you can listen to live with your phone off.
Yeah,
but X does. And
I wonder if Spotify offers that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spotify does.
Spotify.
YouTube does.
You have to have premium.
But you have to have premium. Spotify, Spotify, we can't go live on there. We do the episodes.
Spotify, you can.
Spotify. You'll see the episodes on Spotify, but you can't. There's no live for Spotify right now. Hopefully, eventually.
Yeah, hopefully. Spotify, get on that. Come on, bitch. Anyways, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, angry faithful of all ages, we thank you for tuning in to Nerd Sports episode 197. We know that you have other places to be, but yet you chose to be here. So either that says something about us as a group, or that doesn't say a lot about you as a person. Either way, we're here for the chaos. So I'm Johnny Skelton.
I'm David Dickerman. Wow,
I am Chris Mountain Man Jacko.
I'm Prince Conscom.
You've become privy. You've become indentured. And when you look at yourself in the mirror tonight before you go to bed, ask yourself, are you better off for it? My money is on yes. But in the immortal words of the lesbian pirate bearded clam, we bid you adieu. Scissor me timbers. Arr.